Alright, you little tinkers, I'm Toastbloke. Welcome to my channel. Today's the day that we've been working towards and finally going to get that 5-star rating I set out to achieve at the very beginning of this Prehistoric Kingdom early access playthrough. And if I'm honest with you, I couldn't be happier because this has taken us way longer than I thought it would. I'm just hoping that means it's going to feel even more worth the while when I finally pull this off. So, let's get cracking. Don't you worry your little cotton socks. I'm fully aware that you're going to think I'm proper lazy when I show you this building and you see that it hasn't been decorated and I haven't made it pretty like I said I would between episodes. But the fact of the matter is, there has been no in between episodes because I'm jumping straight in and filming the next video in this series early because I'm eager. I am determined to fill in this 5th and final star, and I reckon one more enclosure has got to do it, guaranteed, surely. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get a new enclosure in the park, but we're not going to do it here. I feel like this area is pretty much done with. We've got the Trike Amphitheatre, the Prehistoric Swamp, and our Iguanodon enclosure. And other than a little bit of touching up, we're kind of out of room. So we're going to head over to an area I've mentioned previously as well. It might have even been in the last episode. It's just past the mammoth enclosure there. And it's this little bit of land here, which is kind of already marked out for us by the areas around it. So instead of getting the creature first and then sorting out the landscape, I'm going to do things back to front today and get this looking nice and level. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We've got this looking nice and flat, so it's ready to become a habitat. Let me jump into excavations. I'm going to look at a few possible candidates. I'm thinking this one, which we've mentioned a million times it feels like. It is the iridescent looking version of our top hatted friend, the Lambeosaurus. But now that we've done Parasaurolophus and Iguanodon, which I believe are of the same genus, I feel like it's a little bit samey. And since this is my last and final enclosure for this park, I want to do something a little bit different, a little bit more interesting. This could be the answer. I've said right next to the mammoth, which is a mammal, and mammals are highly underrepresented in our park. So getting another mammal in would be cool, and we're in the right area. As well, I've seen big cat enclosures in real life. I'm going to cut to the chase. I feel like that presents me with some interesting opportunities and ideas that I haven't had the advantage of having before because I've never seen a real life dinosaur enclosure, but I've seen a real life big cat enclosure. Let's get a male brewing and a female breeding, and then we're going to check things out. So this needs 2,000 meters squared, which is tiny compared to what we've been working with recently. Will that make it easier or harder, I wonder? Exhibit crowding doesn't matter. They get one friend. Well, he gets one friend and she gets one friend. So there's 2 friends, but they've got 1 friend each. Or at least I hope, because they're going to be living together and it could get messy if they don't get on. Fence security, we need a strength of 2 and a minimum height of 1 meter. Grassland, didn't let us do it last time, so I'm guessing we can choose between scrubland and temperate for our biome. And I guess I'll go temperate, purely because we're in a temperate park and we have very few temperate enclosures. Let's check in with Nigel, see if he's got any interesting information. I doubt it. It's more than likely going to be romantic information, because we all know Nigel's just going to absolutely love a big pussy cat. Yeah, you don't let your mind go there. Nigel's is going to.
Oh boy, that's a
it's
big
bad enough
kitty.
for him. See,
More
oh boy,
commonly
and
known
commenting
as
on
the
its size straight
saber-toothed
away.
tiger.
The cat size,
Smilodon
that is.
makes for a formidable predator.
My God.
This large feline could gape its mouth
my
to
God.
impressive extents,
Nigel.
up to 120 degrees, almost twice
Nigel.
as much as a lion. I would love to see it in action
No.
from a safe distance.
Nigel, man. Has Nigel just come out and said that he thinks it's impressive that this pussy can gape open wider than a lion and that he wants to see it from a safe distance? I wonder what he considers as a safe distance. Probably touching. Right, anyway, I can't deal with Nigel and his filth. I'm going to move on and ignore that. I'll let you make of that what you will. I'm going to focus on figuring out how big 2,000 meters squared is. And I think I'll do that with the habitat marker. Right then, let's click on the cats and see if that would be big enough. Why aye, it's miles big enough, class. So we can actually go smaller than that if we want to. Let's have a look at how we want to lay this out. Now, I'm thinking of doing a cage or something, because I feel like cats and zoos would go in a cage, or at least a fence which is hard for them to climb out of. So maybe a fence with an overhang would be a good idea. I need to mark that out though, so let's get a small wall, because I feel like I want my fence to have like a footboard, like a footer. Right, I initially went for a 15 by 10 and then thought this is going to be a fence for a cage. I'm probably going to want posts, and I feel like the posts need to be spread equally all the way around. So since that's 15 along the bottom, I figured I'd go for intervals of 3, so I needed a multiple of 3 for the side, so I've taken that back down to 9 tiles. Now I'm hoping that's going to be big enough. Let's find out with this habitat marker. Just run that across there, and we'll check in with the cats again. Perfect, still big enough. Just over what we need, so that's spot on. I'm going to take this opportunity to use my demo tool just to get rid of the habitat markers, because we don't want them getting in the way. And then what we're going to do is we are going to select this, and we are going to get all the pieces in it, duplicate them and spin it around, and that will create our enclosure boundary, which is lovely. I think the next thing to do is to work out exactly where this is going to be so we can mark it with the habitat marker. So I'm going to spin around here. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to run it so it's kind of in line with this path to some extent. Maybe like that. Move it back a little bit so the cats are definitely going to be inside. And when I'm happy, pop it down. I think that is going to look good. So we'll get the fence built and put the habitat marker in. But maybe before that, we should sort out the path, because we need to see how the guests are going to get up to the edge of the enclosure. Now I'm sick of this path, the asphalt. We've done a lot of this pinky path. So maybe let's try the cobblestone. Lovely, I think that's done. I am noticing I've got a little bit of a green edge at the front and back, which I don't mind hugely, but I do want to fix that. So I'm going to shift this a little bit and just make sure that this is kind of snug. I want it to be in there nicely. I think all I've got to do then is maybe try and run one more bit of path super close to this front edge. If I hold shift, you can gauge it a bit better, and then I'll just run that across there as close as I can, and then that looks like that is really tied in nicely. Lovely. So that's the enclosure and the path all marked out. What I want to do now is create this cage or wall that I've been talking about. So I'm going to jump into this group and remember something really important. We need to be picking materials as we go, which we've learned from our past mistakes. Because if we don't, we have to select everything individually and then make them look how we want. I'm thinking big cats, jungles. I don't feel like modern's the right look. I think it's time to try tropical. So let's have a look at some of these tropical textures. We have bamboo. I like that, to be fair, that's nice. We have weaved palm. That looks nice as well. These are cool textures. And we have painted wood, and I really like that one. I think that might be my favourite. Is that just because of the colour though? I really like greens, especially minty pale greens, and that's exactly what this is. So I think I'm going to go with that. That's what I want. What I need to do now is work out how these fence posts are going to go. So let's get the modular pieces. I'm going to want these, the wall pillars, and I'm going to pop one in the corner. I want it to overhang, stick out of the corner. So let's turn that on. Perfect. And I'm really not a fan of this for the post. Should we try something else? No, still looks weak. I feel like they actually look like they should be wall pillars. So maybe we've got to go back to modern. And maybe concrete makes it look more like a fence post. No. The metal planks, that's the one. That's it. And then it ties it in a little bit to the rest of the park at least. So I'm going to do that. And if I'm going to make this bigger to stop them climbing out, I don't want too high. That might be ridiculous though. Maybe we go for the overhang idea to stop them climbing out. Because I feel like if I tilt this, it'll lower the height, but it'll still look like it's hard to get out. To do that, I'll need to turn the angle snap on. I'll want 45 degrees because that'll put it halfway between vertical and horizontal. And then we can open the editing tool. And there we go. Perfect. We're getting a little gap there though, which I'll want to fill in. I wonder if it's best to do that on the global controls. I feel like it will be. I just need a bit to see what's going on. Oh, that worked. So let's bring that down so that's kind of level with the top. I think that's the one. And then we'll need to pull it out. Why does that look wonky on the world scale? I'm going to have to tweak it with these ones. That's so annoying. But hopefully I can get those to look real tight together. Nigel won't be happy. I've heard he likes things to gape. Anyway, I think that's that done. That looks tidy enough. I'm wondering though, is that now too tall for an overhang? It probably is, isn't it? Let's scale it down as well. Let's just do all the things. That looks decent enough to me. I'm going to go with that. Now we're going to want a fence that people can see through. I don't think any of these tiled wall parts are see-through bar the glass, but we have the chain link. The chain link that we used for the swamp platforms and my little electrical substation. Ooh, there's a chain link arch. And there's damaged chain link too. That's cool, but we don't want these getting out, so we're going to go for the normal one. It's not on the grid. Pop it on the grid. And did I say I wanted multiples of 3? So I'm going to pop that out there 3 times. And then I'm just going to have to repeat what I did for the posts. So I need to duplicate this now. Pop that there, pop that there. And that's our fence ready to go. So I'm going to select this. And then I'm just going to duplicate it. And pop it around the rest of the boundary. Hey presto, that's absolute magic. Now, the corners look dodgy. I should have foreseen this. We've got a weird little butterfly wing effect going on, and the post isn't facing the right way. But that should be easy enough to fix, well, at least the post bit. I'm unsure how to fix the overhang, but I'm sure I'll work it out. I'm going to do one corner at a time though. No, I'm not. I'm going to do one corner and duplicate it. So let me get my bulldozer and I'm going to get rid of those other corners. I think, as I've mentioned kind of already, this will need to be rotated inwards. 45 degrees should still be right. It feels like that's our magic number today. And yes, that looks so much better. We've still got that butterfly flap though, which is a little bit annoying. But that looks so much better, right? So that should be easy to tidy up, surely. I'm going to try something. I wonder if I scale that down until it disappears into the post, if that will give me a basis to duplicate it and shrink it down multiple times. Let's see how that works. I want this, I want this, and we're going to just shrink that till it disappears. It's gone. Give it a tick. Now if I duplicate it and pull it up, maybe halfway between the gap, can I go all the way? I can go all the way. Oh wow. And then how do I make it disappear? Ooh, can I just move it that way? I can. That's gone. Let's check this side. Yeah, that is neat. Lovely, cool. So I'm going to repeat that then for this side. I'm really happy with that. So now I just have to duplicate this little bit of corner, and I'll be able to take that around the rest of the enclosure. The outside of the enclosure seems to be done, so I guess we're going to start work on the inside. And I'm thinking it'd be nice to give them a building as shelter, somewhere they can chill, but also maybe build something that they can climb on and have different levels to explore. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to start though by getting the wall from the modular pieces. We'll jump into the walls. We should pick a material. I don't want that, that's not tropical. Let's just stick with the green painted wood. And I'm going to start at a fence post and wiggle my way around to another fence post so that at least the building is going to join to a fence post when the fence starts. I think that makes sense, at least it does in my head. Now I'm going to get rid of the fence from the back because it's going to be weird if the fence is sticking through the wall. And then I'll put the back wall in, and that should be the walls of the building done and dusted. There we go. I love it. It's a building in the corner. And that's what I wanted. Simple things, please, simple minds. We need to work on maybe the floor next then, just because it's going to be easy to put a floor on while the roof is off. I don't want that. That's quite snazzy to be fair, but I don't think that's what I'm going to go for, because I feel like bamboo might be right. Why is that only partially showing through? Is this one of these cases where I need to raise this group for some stupid reason because the game just seems to struggle with textures? Yeah. As soon as I raise it up a teeny bit, pop, it comes back. So I'm just going to duplicate this and fill in the floors of the buildings. Lovely, I couldn't be happier with how that's turned out. Now then, the tricky bit's going to be figuring out the roof. So we're going to have to pick a roof tile and see if there's a nice tropical roof that we can all love and appreciate. I need to choose what slant I want as well. I don't know if I want a massively drastic slant. I think that's probably slant enough for me. Let's jump in and have a look at what tropical ones there are, because they are tropical ones. We've got wood slats. We've got thatch, and I really like that. I think that gives me that jungle feel I'm after. And we've got terracotta, which is nice, but that feels a little bit more like I'm on holiday in Spain. We're going thatch, right? I think that'll look good, and I think this is going to create a cool little porch area. There's this one issue though. I'm not liking how flush this is to the front, so I'm going to move that back, not duplicate it. I want to move it back, hit the right thing. There we go. Oh, that looks cool, because then we've got like a porch. I need to make sure that I fill in all these gaps under the roofs though, so I'm going to work on that next. That was really difficult. One of the hardest things I've had to do in this game. And I don't know why. I don't feel like it should have been. But I'm noticing a couple of things when I'm getting in and around the building. One is, I haven't got the floor done for the outside part of this area. So, I'm just going to quickly fill this in under there. I also noticed we don't have any doors into the building. So, let's pop down here. I think because this is even, I want to get rid of both of those pieces. And we'll pop these arches in. Let's change the material on them. Not a fan of the bamboo. I really like that. The weaved palm looks sick there. So let's make a weaved palm doorway. I feel like that's adding a lot of character to the building. We'll do the same material here, but that's uneven, so we'll just have a single arch. Should we go for maybe a curved one? So I feel like that's going to be almost like a secret little den for them to exist in. I mean, that cat looks like it's been chopped in half. Hopefully it's okay. And then in here, we can maybe make this something that's a little bit less private. I don't know why I'm heading inside. I've not even finished the outside, but I wonder if we do the multiple levels over here, which would mean we could put a viewing area over here. Let's work on that next. Now that I like. That's looking good. That is a cool little viewing area. We need to work out what the guests are going to see though when they look in the viewing area. So maybe we sort this little part out here. Now this is missing something. I think this is going to need supports. Do I just steal one of these? Can I even select one of these? I want to select one of these and I want to steal it. I'm just going to nick it and bring it over here and pop that there. Maybe we need some sort of mini wall around here just to stop the cats jumping off there or falling down there. Not that they'll hurt themselves, but you've got to consider safety. And that's that done. Let's check it from the outside, see what the guests will see. Yeah, I like it. And maybe we'll make it so on top it's a sleeping area, or underneath. Could be both. Could both be sleeping areas. Or we could put some food or something around there. So I'm happy with this. This is turning out sick. One of the other things I was going to mention before I got carried away inside was that we'll probably need some posts to make it look supported. We've been using posts now. So I'm just going to reuse these. We'll stick to it. It keeps the theme going. I think that's it. Class, I'm chuffed with that. That's worked out really well. Actually, how about one last touch? One last touch. Little baby diddy walls. Oh, that looks quite nice in that. How would the bamboo look? Oh, I think we need to go for this just to tie in that theme a little bit more with the weaved palm. I think that's looking tasty. Good enough to eat. And I'm going to say that is that building done. That means we're ready to work on the outside area. And like I said, I'd like some things for these cats to climb on. I want to build some sort of trim trail or climbing frame / jungle gym in this area. And I want to build it separate because I don't want to mess up anything I've done. So I'm going to go all the way over here, in fact, and build it completely independently. And then I'll move it into the area once I feel like I'm happy with it. So let me get a floor tile. I want it to just go on the floor. So I'm going to pop that down there. And then we're going to enter the group. I'm going to raise this up to 2 because that is how high stairs go. I'm going to get the stairs. I want them to be the bamboo ones. I love them. And yeah, that is perfect. They run up to there. I'm going to want some fence posts or wall pillars. I'm going to stick with bamboo for most of this build, I think, just because it's going to be simple. And I want to get them in the 4 corners. And I'm just going to create something that I think I can duplicate because I'm going to want a few of these little platforms. So I'm going to want some walls. like so. And I'm going to want an opening at these front parts, so maybe I'll use these diddy walls. That looks about right to me. And then I'm going to want a roof. Now for the roof, I'm confused how this will work, because these, am I going to have to size these down? Surely there's got to be a piece for that. Is that what these are? It is. Why have we not found these earlier? These are like perfect for what I need. Oh my god. Line that up with that one. That is so cool. Does that mean there's going to be a roof which is already like that as well? Come on, there's got to be. There is! Yes! Look how easy that makes life. Why didn't I know about that sooner? And that is our little raised hut. Going to duplicate it now. Maybe 2 or 3 times. So I'm going to select everything in the group and just duplicate that across. I feel like we should go 2 apart. Oh, maybe that one will only be 1 apart. And I'm going to get rid of these because these aren't how I want them. Now, my idea is to create maybe a bridge running across these 2 and maybe across there. Could even do like a cylinder, like a tube, like a tunnel bridge between 2 of them. That would be sick. Might be impossible. I'm not sure. We'll have to give it a go because this is our final enclosure. I've got to be a little bit special. And I'm not liking how this one is blocking the view to that one. So I'm going to take a little bit of time just to organize this and get it set up for what I want to do. What I want to do now though is maybe sort these out so they look a little bit more like some sort of ramp that would fit into this. That's a bit wide for me, so I'm going to maybe narrow it down and see if there's something I can use for edging. Has that worked? Is that edging that? It is. Class. So I'm just going to duplicate this now and put it on the other platform like so. And I'm going to repeat a similar process to create a bridge here, and I might even add some chains or something as like side railings, which will be cool. This has turned out so good. It's exactly how I imagined it, and I can't quite believe how well it's went. Is the next part going to go as well? Probably not, because we're going to be trying to make this tunnel across here. I don't know how it's going to work, but let's see what materials we can potentially use. I know we've got this, but is the only opaque material in that glass? I think it is. I don't want that. Didn't we see though there was a chain link arch as well? I swear we did. Hang on. Was it in here? Yeah, there, that would work, because then if the cats do use this, we'll be able to watch them going across it, although I get the feeling the cats won't use it. Let's see if we can make a tunnel with this over here. Then I'm going to duplicate that. It's going to be easier. And I'll just flip it around. Lovely. Then I'm going to select them and hopefully duplicate these again. Need an angle snapper 90, which we're already on. Lovely. I will flip that over. And that should make a nice cylinder. Lovely, it has. We've got our nice little circle there. So I'm going to select all of these now. And I'm going to duplicate them 3 times, because that seems to be what we're doing today. Multiples of 3. And that should be our first little segment of the tunnel. I want to add some structure to that. And we've used straight bamboo as structural element parts. So are there some arched ones, where would they be under? Structural elements, I've just said. Idiot. Right, yeah, there we go. Cool. An arched bamboo pole. Let's see if that'll... Yeah, it will. Goes on there perfect. So we'll do that. And then hopefully the same tricks work. We'll just duplicate that. Flip that over. And pop that there. Lovely. So that is the first segment with a piece of structure complete. I guess I'm going to duplicate this 3 times as well. We're going to be shrinking this right down now, and I want it to look like a tunnel. So I'm going to select all of those pieces, hopefully, without selecting anything else. And we're going to scale it. Let's get it teeny tiny. I'm going to bring it right down. See what I mean? That looks like a tunnel. That looks like something that we're going for. And I'm hoping, because we're on the same grid as the huts, that when I move this, we can get it centered at least. Now that's not working. But maybe if I bring the grid size down to 2 meters, it'll pop it bang in the middle. And it looks like it is. I'm going to lower that down and get that in between the huts. And why is this working oh so well? This is ridiculous. Oh my god, if I actually guessed the right size for that almost. It looks like I might have got a really good size. Right then, what I need to do is fill in these gaps around it. What will allow us to do that? Because I doubt these will. They'll just extend the tube, which isn't what I want. It's got to be these pieces, right? Yeah, it's got to be them. That's looking good. Is there any gaps in the side? No. So all that leaves us to do is to duplicate this. So now the tricky bit's going to be resizing this so that it fits and meets up with the edge of the circle we've put on the inside of the hut. Fingers crossed we can get this to work. And I'm going to have to settle with that. I think that's good enough. It's better than I thought I was going to be able to pull off. This is really actually quite impressive. I love it. So I guess what I need to do now is get this into the main enclosure, which is exactly what I'm going to do. That's it. That's exactly what I'm wanting. So then, I guess what we need to do now is start getting the nature into here and sorting the animals' needs. Shall we jump into the animal care first? It seems to be a good method. And we know where we've talked about putting beds. We've got this private area here, which should definitely have some beds in it. So I'm going to pop a few of those in. I'm going to make sure that's on. I also want to make sure I'm in this group. So let me do that. And I'll put one there, and maybe a medium one just at the front here. So you've got plenty of places to rest. We then had the area in here that we built. And we talked about maybe putting a bed on top, underneath. Where would I prefer to sleep if I was a cat? Probably on top. I'd probably want some height. Now that's a smaller area, so I'm going to use the medium ones only up here. Can I get 3 medium ones in there? And we'll put 2 medium and a small. I think that's exactly what I need. Now, the underneath space could be where we put the food then. These guys are going to want some meat, I believe. I'll just pop that under there. And I'll change that over. And then I'm going to put another one somewhere else, so I'll duplicate it. Does that change back? Why doesn't it duplicate the actual food type? Let's put one out here outside of their private area, and we'll make that meat as well. And they should be loving that. They should be loving that. Let's check and see. They aren't loving anything. We haven't got the marker. We didn't put the habitat marker back down, did we? I'm going to do that now. Hopefully things are starting to look a little bit more pleasant for them now they have an area. Yeah, that's a good size. Their sustenance is green, health's green, but we haven't sorted out the enrichment. Now, they can have a frozen fruit block or a blood pumpkin. Let's get both in. Let's spoil them. And I want to put them in this group because I feel like that might encourage them to actually get on there and use the area, which would be nice. So, let's get a blood pumpkin. We'll put that on the outside over here, I think. Do I have to go into the group first? Whoa, I hate that little zoom that it does. Maybe we do. Or maybe I need to put this on. That could be the trick. I think it is. So let's put that there. Lovely. And then we'll put the ice block inside in the shade. And hopefully the cats get in there to get a taste of that. Lovely. That should be all of their needs taken care of by the nature in the enclosure. Before we go on to that though, I'm going to remember to pop some dung beetles around. Something we haven't considered is the terrain. We've got grass, if I remember, growing through the inside of the floors. Yeah, we don't want that. So I think I'm going to start off with some terrain paint. I think that is the painting of the terrain done. I'm happy enough with that. We're going to have to start thinking about what their requirements are though. So let's have a little look in here. We are going to need some water. Oh, they don't need a lot. Good job, because we've got no room out here. We do have a lot of room inside though. Not that we need a lot of room, but don't we have quite a lot of room in here that we're not using? Maybe we should do something in here. That'll make this more interesting because this is boring. Really plain. Let's click on here and edit the group. Could I potentially in front of the balcony create a pool? I'll just take a square out here. Can I bop water into there? Let's have a look. Why, I should be able to, right? Just pop that there. But that's made a bit of a circle. And I can't really do much about it though. Can I use... Hang on, we could actually make it a circle, couldn't we? Absolutely perfect. I'm so happy with how this is turning out. Let's check that's enough water for them. It's got to be, right? Hope it's not too much. That'll be the next thing. You know what this game's like? Nah, spot on. Lovely. Now we need to work on the forest. But we've been doing rockery and things before we work on forest of late, so I'm going to stick to that. I might even actually, although we're not going to have different levels in here, I might roughen up the floor a little bit with the terrain, so... I'm going to try and hide some of this poop, well not the poop, the dung beetles, which are there to get rid of poop with the rocks. Hopefully that just hides the dung beetles away from the guests' line of sight when they're looking at the enclosure. We're now ready for the final touches in regards to nature. So let's get the cats menu up, because I'm going to want to see how much forest we're allowed to put in here. And we're going to keep it temperate, like I said. And we're going to start off with maybe some long grass. Simple, I know, but simple and sweet. I'm going to add some of these bigger bushes in now, I think. And how's the forest looking? Still fine, still fine. We're now going to move on to some trees. I wonder how much these trees are going to affect the forest in here though. So we're going to bring the density right down, size right down, and we'll see what happens here. Yeah, we're just in on forest, just in. I'll take that. I'm taking that as a victory. Now, that would usually be the episode complete and the enclosure done. But not today. I want to make sure we spruce this up a little bit before the episode ends. So I'm going to do some decorations. I think that's all I'm going to do for now. It's more than I'd normally do, and I feel like the outside looks a little bit cooler as a result. There is something else that I should do to make this really pop though, and that is add some light. I think that's that. So it's time to take a little look around. We've built this fence, this cage area. Cats are loving running through the long grass already. And it's got an overhang to stop them climbing out. We've tidied up the corners, it looks really neat. Down this side, we've made a nice window to look into the cat's enclosure. And they've got a little pool there to drink water, to bathe, to do what they would like to do. And even a level that can go and sleep and chill out on. If we go back through out into the front of the enclosure, they've got some little, hello, they've got some little shaded areas, but more importantly, a second more private place to sleep in case they've had enough of prying eyes. And finally, the cherry on the top of the cake, a climbing frame, a jungle gym, a trim trail, whatever it is, a place where they can go, climb around, have some fun, and even go over a bridge and through a tunnel. And I honestly didn't expect to have built anything this good in this whole entire series. We need to check one thing though. Have we got the full 5 stars? We have indeed, we've done it. I knew we would. We've got that 5-star park rating which we have been yearning for, and I'm so chuffed about it. I'm going to be doing one more episode in this series, and it's probably going to be with a special guest, so look out for that. I'll be coming next week. But yeah, I'm going to call that there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please remember to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell. it'll mean you'll know when my next video drops, and it helps me out hugely too, so I'd appreciate that. If you wouldn't mind, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you and have a little chat. But if that is it, I'm going to say thank you again. You take care, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheerio.